When I was a kid, I experienced something so powerful that I spent the rest of my life searching for it, and all in the wrong places. What I experienced wasn't virtual reality. It was animation and storytelling, and this is where the story begins. This is me, trying to be Bugs Bunny, and the look on my face is the feeling I have been searching for ever since. Storytelling goes straight to the emotional core, straight to the emotional vein. It goes into your bloodstream, right into your heart. It deepens every experience. Storytelling makes everything have more emotional resonance. Let's see how it does for this talk. The right piece of emotion at the right time fuses with us to the core of our cellular level. When I recall that one story from that one summer, I'm instantly transported back there again. Here's a part of the story where I got a little greedy. I thought if I added more layers to it, or more layers to the story, I could make feelings even more powerful. So I got into directing animation. This is what they looked like years ago. I would take different types of shoes, I would experiment with them, trying to bring life to them. I would try to play with clay or all the things at home, try to photograph them over a period of time, and try to see what can be done. These experiments grew, and in time started to look more like this. In both, I'm searching for the same thing, though to capture that lightning in a bottle. Except I'm not. Adding more drawings to the music added narrative dimension, yes, but never quite equated the power that just raw emotions had for me on its own. So this was a animation which got me into ballet. I took ballet classes just to get this thing onto the screen. And this was done me and with my friends in France again, and we were doing a very Persepolis kind of a thing, giving a very propaganda kind of an animation, just with the help of ballet. And it was just like 4 minutes long, and it made its mark. This is not, like I said earlier, that I was searching all in the wrong places. It is not a great thing to realize when you have devoted yourself, like your whole life, into directing something or directing into animation. Did I take the wrong path? So I started thinking, if I could involve you, the audience, even more, I might be able to make you feel something more as well. I started chasing new technologies that could put more of you inside the work. We were pushing beyond the screen, trying to connect more deeply to people's hearts and imaginations. And years of searching, I found a prototype. And when I tried it, I knew I had found it. I could taste that lightning. It was called virtual reality. This was it 5 years ago when I bumped into it. This is how it looks right now. I quickly started building up things in this new medium and through that process, we realized something, that VR is going to play, by VR I mean virtual reality, that VR is going to play an incredibly important role in the history of PDMs. In fact, it's going to be the last one, and the one that will preserve our history. I mean this because it's the first medium that actually makes the jump from our internalization of an author's expression of an experience to our experiencing it firsthand. You look a little confused to me. I can explain this. You, yes. No, that's good. Like when I was reciting this statement, I could see some micro expressions on your face, and I could feel that you are a little confused. I can clear your confusion in a very quick manner. Can you join me on the stage, please? So all you have to do is just wear this on your eyes, put the headphones on, and have fun.
In front of everyone.
Yes.
Right. Detail.
Oh, that could be fun.
I wish I had 200 of these so I can involve everyone in the audience right with me at the moment. But next time, yes, I can do that. You can put this on. Okay,
Okay.
you can have fun with it. Yes, so she is transported to a new world. Let's continue our world here. So if we go back to the origins of the mediums, it starts around a fire with a very good story. Our tribe leader is telling us about how he hunted the bear in the wild in that particular day. We hear his words and translate them into our own internal truths. The same thing happens when we look at the cave paintings of the story, the book about the bear hunt, the play, the radio broadcast, the television show, or a movie. All these mediums require what we call a suspension of disbelief. Because there's a translation gap between the reality of the story and our consciousness, interpreting that story into our reality. I'm using the word consciousness as a feeling of reality that we get from our senses, experiencing the world around us. Virtual reality bridges that gap. That's what's happening right here. Now you are in the wild you're in the wild hunting with the leader, or you are the leader, or maybe you're even the bear. So here's what's special about VR. In all other mediums, your consciousness interprets the medium. In VR, your consciousness is the medium. To make this more fun, we did a lot of experiments on the same thing. How can we involve the public or the audience more? So we came up with a thing called augmented reality. And I hope, no. So the potential for VR, I'm gonna come to augmented reality. What happened?
I think just wondering if I should keep going.
Yeah, keep going.
Oh, okay.
So the potential for VR is enormous. But where are we now? Well, we are the equivalent of year one of cinema. This is Lumiere brothers' movie that allegedly sent a theater full of people running for their lives as they thought that the train was coming towards them. This was the first time something like this was done on a bigger screen or a rectangular frame. And everyone was astonished, like what's happening? And if you experience something that you're devoted your body, your senses, your feelings right into one thing, see what kind of an experience or emotions will you have, or what kind of experience will you see. Similar to this early stage of this medium, in VR, we also have to move past the spectacle and into storytelling. It took this medium decades to figure out its preferred language of storytelling in the form of a feature film. In VR today, we are learning more grammar than writing a language. We have made 9 films in the last year at a VR company called Samsara, and we have learned a few things. We found that we have a unique and direct path into your body, into your senses, and to your emotions, through which we can let you experience history and preserve it. I'm going to come back to this particular thing once this lady is done with the VR world. So I'll come back to this thing. I'll show you what augmented reality will be about. Contrary to the popular belief, there's a composition in virtual reality. But it's completely different than in film, where you have a rectangular frame. Composition is now where your consciousness exists and how the world moves around you. Directing VR is not like directing the rectangle. It's more of a choreography of the viewer's attention. One tool that we use to guide attention is called spatialized sound. I can put a sound anywhere in front of you, to left or right, even behind you. And when you turn your head, the sound will rotate according to you. So we can use that to direct your attention to where I want you to see. And the next time you hear someone singing over your shoulder, it might be Ed Sheeran. Virtual reality makes us feel like that we are part of something. For most of human history, we lived in small units. We started in caves, moved to tribes, then villages and towns, and now we are all global citizens. But I believe that we are still hardwired to care the most about the things that are local to us. And VR makes anyone, anywhere feel local. And this is why it works as an empathy machine. Our film Freiheit takes you to concentration camps in Auschwitz and runs a parallel story of 1984 in New Delhi. And instead of watching a story about people over there, it's a story about us right here. But where do we go from here now? The tricky thing is that with all previous mediums, the format... What happened?
I think it is. Oh, no, it's back.
Okay.
Now you confused her.
Pardon?
Now you confused her.
No, my bad. So our film Freiheit takes you to concentration camps in Auschwitz and runs a parallel story of 1984 in New Delhi. And instead of watching a story about us there, it's a story about us right here. But where do we go from here now? The tricky thing is that with all previous mediums, the format is fixed at its birth. Film has been a sequence of rectangles, from Muybridge's horses to even now. The format has never changed, but VR as a format, as a medium, isn't complete yet. It's not using any physical paper or TV signals. It actually employs what we use to make sense of the world. We are using your senses as the paints on the canvas. Eventually, we will see if we will have all of our human senses employed, and we will have agency to live the story in any path we choose, and we call that path as virtual reality. Right now, actually, we call that thing virtual reality right now. But what happens when we move past simulated realities? What do we call it then? What if instead of verbally telling you about a dream, I can let you live inside that dream, just like this? What if instead of just visiting some museum to learn about history, you can actually live the history? Instead of communicating with each other through words, you can communicate with each other through your raw emotions and thoughts. And I believe that's not virtual reality anymore. And honestly, I don't know what's that called. But I hope you see from where we are going in the future. Thank you.